guys. Thanks again for tuning into my book reviews. Today we're on episode 9 and we're talking about The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz PhD. This is another great personal development book that I picked up a little over a week ago. And I like a lot of the principles that he talks about here as far as thinking big. And you know, when I first picked this up, every time I start a new personal development book, I'm always like, okay, what's something new that I can learn from each book that I read? Because when you start to get different books and you start to read a lot of them, you get the feeling that, oh, maybe this might be like the other one that I read, and you kind of worry that there won't be as much variety. But once again, I was proven wrong. And this book has a lot of great tips for how to think big in all aspects of your life. And he's very detailed about how he puts those principles into place. Some of the chapters of the book, let's see, are as follows. Let's see. Basically, oh yes, believe you can and you will. Cure yourself of the fear of failure. Think and dream creatively. You are what you think you are. Make your attitudes your allies. Learn how to think positively. Turn defeat into victory. Use goals to help you grow and think like a leader. One of my favorite passages from this book, kind of towards the beginning, and I'll read it for you. And it just talks about how you should view other people and how to not be afraid of other people and be self-conscious. It goes as follows. Before I went into the Army in World War II, I was scared of just about everybody. You just wouldn't believe how shy and timid I was. I felt everyone else was a lot smarter. I worried about my physical and mental inadequacies. I thought I was born to fail. Then, by some fortunate quirk of fate, I lost my fear of people in the Army. During part of 1942 and 1943, when the Army was inducting men at a terrific clip, I was stationed as a medic at one of the big induction centers. Day after day, I assisted in examining those men. The more I looked at these recruits, the less afraid I became. All of those men lined up by the hundreds, naked as jaybirds, looked so much alike. Oh, sure, they were fat ones and skinny ones, tall ones and short ones, but they were all confused. All were lonesome. Just a few days before some were rising young executives. Some were farmers. Some were salesmen, drifters, blue-collar workers. A few days before, they had been many things, but at the induction center, they were all alike. I figured something out pretty basic back then. I discovered people are alike in many, many more ways than they are different. I discovered the other fellow is pretty much like me. He wants to get ahead. He has problems. He likes to relax. So if the other fellow is basically like me, there's no point in being afraid of him. Now, doesn't that make sense? If the other fellow is basically like me, there's no reason to be afraid of him. I love that passage and wanted to read it because it really speaks true to the nature of human beings, of people. Everybody has the same basic needs and wants, you know, the want to be loved and appreciated, to be validated. Everyone has goals, you know, everyone has been hurt before. And that really put a lot of things into perspective for me. And that was just one chapter of the book. It goes into many different sections of in how all aspects of your life you can think bigger, from an employee to a business owner, to people, you know, that are in a marriage, how to do that with your kids and your family, how to balance that life, that work-life balance. He talks about just everyday interactions with the people that you'll meet, the plans and goals that you have for your life, how to think big in those respects. And he breaks it all down to where it's not just like this one random idea of, oh, okay, think big. Well, what does that mean? He breaks all of it down. And another great quote that I found in here. Let me see if I can find the page that it was on. Yeah, he says, the tendency for so many people to think small means that there is much less competition than you think for a very rewarding career. He talks about how so many people automatically rule themselves out for a great position or a great opportunity, not because they can't do it, but because they think that they can't. And so for those people that think that they can, the possibilities for achievement and progressing in your career and in life are endless when you have that right mindset. He talks about what it means to have that mindset and how when you decide something's possible, your brain works overtime to make those things happen. When you decide something is impossible, your brain shuts down and it makes you more lazy because you're like, oh, well, no, that can't happen. So your mind does not do those mental acrobatics in order to make things happen. And I've seen that in my own life. When I decide this is what I'm going to do, it's possible, it's going to happen, your brain, it makes you smarter because you get creative with ways to make things happen. Oh my, sounds like the children are having a party in there. In any case, I'll wrap up with that. But this is a very good book. Highly recommend it. Oh, I thought it was upside down for a minute. I highly recommend it, guys. It's great. It'll help you in lots of aspects for life. And yeah, give it a read. It's definitely worth it. So have a great day. God bless. I'll be back soon with another book review. Bye.